The lighting fucking sucks today, but you know what? I don't make the rules and you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's about to be so fucking hot in here. I just opened up my windows because lighting. Whenever I open my windows, my room just gets at least 86 degrees. There's no way around it. Hi, children. Mateo, why the fuck are you making another video like this when you got canceled for the first one? Here's the deal. After doing a lot of evaluating and reading some of y'all's comments, and also kind of being a fan for a longer time now, I realized how fucking stupid my list was last time. Of course, every time I try to film, there's always people working. I decided just the other week, like, why not just do this again and maybe set the record straight? This list is based off of my personal taste. This isn't how I would logistically rank her albums in order of like consistency and stuff like that, or like how big of an impact it had. This is purely just based off of my taste. My taste is very specific, and the shit that I listen to in music is not very much the lyrics, which I know is kind of unpopular. I listen for vocal performance and production. Why waste more time when I could just not, and I can just stop talking? I've done a lot of changes to my last list, and I didn't even start with my last list. I kind of just wrote a whole new one. But the album on the bottom is Born to Die. I know how unpopular that is, but the thing is that with Born to Die, that album is not my forte at all. Not even close. I only like a couple of songs. I think that if the production was a little bit different on the album, and I think that if her vocal performance was a little bit cleaner, I probably would have liked it a lot more. And we all know how I feel about the song Carmen. It just is not for me at all. I can't stand that song if I'm being honest. However, the songs that I do like off of Born to Die are Blue Jeans, Dark Paradise, and $1 Million Man. Blue Jeans has always been nostalgic for me. My mom used to play a remix of that song in her car when we would take our road trips to Phoenix. Dark Paradise, I just remember the first time listening to that song, I was like, not super crazy vocals, kind of flawless production. I'm in. And $1 Million Man, I feel like that's almost like a given for me. Even if you listen to that song, you're like, oh, Mateo will like this song. Why does my hair look absolutely crazy today? I love the melody in $1 Million Man. This is one of the few songs by Lana Del Rey that I actually listened to the lyrics for. You know, the double metaphor, why is my heart broke? A lot of the other songs are great. They don't appeal to me as much as, you know, some of the other songs in her discography. It's just a little difficult to pinpoint why certain songs stick out to me more than others. It's that they really just appeal to me a little bit more, and it could be the production, it could be the vocal performance, it could be the melody, it could literally be anything. But that is kind of why Born to Die is on the bottom. A lot of the instrumentation I don't like off of Born to Die, especially in Summertime Sadness. I know that is her most popular song, and again I see why. You know, that song is incredible, but it doesn't appeal to me. The next album on my list is Paradise. The thing about Paradise, I really only love one song. The amount that I love that one song is what skyrockets this album for me, and that song, of course, is Cola. I like a lot of the other songs off of Paradise. I don't love them. And the amount that I love Cola is kind of what bumps this album to the number 5 spot, because that song is one of my favorites by her. It might be my favorite. It's definitely in the top 3 and like top 5 for sure. You know, Ride is the most popular song off of this EP, album, whatever the fuck it is. And I get it, it's just a little bit too upbeat. I'm not a fan of the instrumentation, specifically in the beginning of the song with that piano. We all know I'm picky as fuck when it comes to piano, and that piano is not the kind of piano I like. A couple other honorable mentions would probably be American, Body Electric, and Gods and Monsters. Just not as big of a fan of those songs as I am Cola, because Cola, the second I heard that song, I was like, is this the Hoedown song? With that being said, the next album on my list, probably the most unpopular so far, is Norman fucking Rockwell. I think in my last video that I've since privated, I had Norman fucking Rockwell as the number 1 spot, I'm pretty sure. And I get that, but I think over time my love for that album kind of deteriorated because it wasn't appealing to me more and more as I listened to it. A couple songs only really stuck with me, and the other songs, not that I couldn't care care less about them. It's that I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to them. But the songs I like are the title track, Norman fucking Rockwell, Mariner's Apartment Complex, and Doin' Time. An honorable mention for sure would be Cinnamon Girl, but I don't know what it is about that song. It just is not really for me. I want to love that song. I really do. And I think it is an incredible song. It's something that's almost unexplainable. I just cannot get on board with it. A lot of the songs are a little slow, and a lot of them don't have that Lana feel that her other albums have. And I think that does have to do with the fact that Jack Antonoff was the one who produced this. No shade to him at all. He's an incredible producer. His work just does not appeal to me. While I think he did an incredible job, I think that his job wasn't for me. And I'm gonna keep saying that over and over and over just so I don't get canceled. The songs that I do like definitely have like a special touch to them that the other songs don't necessarily have. Doin' Time is a little bit more upbeat. That kind of style from Lana is what I like. If we had an album, like a full album of songs that were similar to Doin' Time, which is a Sublime cover, I feel like I would listen to that album probably more than any other album by her, but we don't have it. The next album on my list, which will kind of define the rest of the list, is Lust for Life. Here's the deal. In my last video, I don't remember what ranking Lust for Life was. I think it was in the same spot that it is this video. A lot of people put Lust for Life at the bottom of their list, which I completely understand. However, I'm gonna fight for Lust for Life. 2K21. Fuck. Are we gonna have another clearing throat compilation at the end of the video? The songs that I like from Lust for Life are Love, the title track featuring The Weeknd, 13 Beaches, Cherry, In My Feelings, God Bless America and All the Beautiful Women in It, and When the World Was at War We Kept Dancing. I'm not a fan of the more slower songs that are towards the end of the album. It kind of feels like the album's just dragging along and taking itself on a journey that is a little too long and a little unnecessary. I did like the song Heroin. Something about the song towards the end when her vocals start to become a little bit more lazy, and I think that has to do with the overall theme of the song. It just does not work for me. You know, I want a solid vocal performance throughout the whole thing. I want to hear impressive shit. And there also is a pretty big production flaw in Heroin. When you listen to the song in the beginning, all you hear is the beautiful synth pads. And then you can hear when the microphone comes in, which is a problem. Connect to iPhone.
Searching. Now connected to a thought on crack.
I'll point it out. You can just hear the static in the background, which is not a good thing. They should have cut out the static. They really should have, or at least made it like a gradual static, just so it wasn't blatantly obvious and blatantly in your face, because that's a problem. And as much as I love this album, sometimes I do wish that the microphone wasn't that very specific sound, because her vocals weren't as crisp as I feel like they should have for this project, and sometimes the production sounds a little bit washed out, and not necessarily in a good way. As the album drags on, you can kind of hear that this album was put together very delicately. And of course, my favorite by far is When the World Was at War We Kept Dancing. And I will say that confidently. No one can ever change my mind. That song is her most underrated, probably, along with Looking for America. But it's like the production on that hoe. The production on When the World Was at War We Kept Dancing. And the vocal performance on When the World Was at War We Kept Dancing. Same with God Bless America. Oh, my camera's about to cut. Kind of the same deal with God Bless America and All the Beautiful Men in It. I mean, that song is just, it's a very vibe song. You can totally just vibe to that song. You know, the vocals aren't too in your face and intense, and that's just kind of Lana. Her vocals are never really intense. The production is very smooth and very chilled out. And you might not think that that album is consistent, but you really have to be able to pay attention to the songs to realize, like, okay, this album was put together with some special sauce. That fucking guy is back again. What is going on at that poor house? With that being said, the next album, which will define the rest of the list really, is Ultraviolence. Before, this album was second to worst on my list, and now it's second to best. And the reason it's not my absolute favorite is because the production is incredible, and I fucking love that kind of production. It's not my absolute favorite production. And a lot of the songs, like me and my dad did in our reaction video, it was like almost hard to get through because it was like a stab to the fucking heart. The songs that I like from Ultraviolence are Cruel World, Ultraviolence, Brooklyn Baby, West Coast, Pretty When You Cry, and Money Power Glory. I don't know what my favorite song would be off of that album. Probably Pretty When You Cry or Cruel World. A little bit obvious why I like Pretty When You Cry, but I'll reiterate it anyway. The fucking vocals, my guy, at the end of the song, the last chorus. She had to take it up a whole other octave. Because why wouldn't she? Because she's Lana Del Rey. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. She could stab me in the stomach and I would still like her. I grew up on rock music from Motley Crue, Metallica, Pearl Jam, Korn, Alice in Chains, Van Halen. Just a lot of super, super popular rock music in the 80s and 90s and some of the 70s. And so with that album being the sort of rock influence that it has, I think that that's probably why I like this album so fucking much. I'm not even really sure why I put Ultraviolence as the second to worst on my last video. I'm gonna have to watch it back just to see what I said. You know what? Let's watch it. I got a tattoo in my butt for charity. Good for Julian. Proud of him. Content. Lana Del Rey worst to best. Welcome to another episode of me inserting my opinion where it wasn't asked. Hi, my hair is refusing to be a part of the team. I don't know what to do. Is this just gonna be me watching my old videos? I mean, I'm not really surprised about the 17 dislikes. I'm really not. April 26th? My hair grew so much longer since then. I thought my hair was long then. I was trying to look for the word to describe this album, like as a whole. I was watching an interview that she did with, I forget who. She said that she wanted Ultraviolence to be very atmospheric. And that was the perfect word that I was looking for, and that is how I'm describing this album. It's very atmospheric. It is. What is up with your voice, my guy? What were you doing? Some of my favorites from this album are Cruel World, Ultraviolence, Shades of Cool, Brooklyn Baby, West Coast, Pretty When You Cry, Money Power Glory, and Fucked My Way to the Top. I think my favorites are Shades of Cool and West Coast. And West Coast... Well, that's changed. Not much of a fan of Shades of Cool very much. I don't like the guitar solo that's in it. That solo honestly ruins the whole song for me. I can't listen to it anymore because it almost makes me cringe every time I listen to it. It's not that you can just ignore it because there's an entire section of the song taken out for it. We should move on to the next record. Why was that so short? Or maybe my descriptions just aren't very long. Yeah, I disagree with the also here comment. I think this album also got a nice hefty dose of the special sauce. But I guess with that said, let's move on. My favorite album by Lana Del Rey, which has completely changed, and it took me a while to get there, but that is Honeymoon. Now here's the deal. I'm not a legend, not even in the slightest, because only legends can listen to Honeymoon one time and think it's her best project. I'm not a legend. I didn't fucking think that. I thought it was her worst when I first heard it. And now I feel like fucking shit. It took me a while to come around to Honeymoon, almost a year, clearly. That album, holy fucking shit. I don't remember what my favorite songs were from that album when I did that first video. However, they probably have changed because I like practically the whole album. The songs I like are the title track Honeymoon, Music to Watch Boys To, God Knows I Tried, High by the Beach, Freak, Art Deco, Salvatore, The Blackest Day, and 24. I think I just spit, but I don't know what that was. I have too many favorites from this album. I mean, if I had to pick just a few, it would probably be High by the Beach, Art Deco, 24, Salvatore, Music to Watch Boys To, and the whole album. It's almost like I had to recalibrate my taste in Lana's music for me to appreciate Honeymoon as much as I do. I think I had to like recalibrate my taste in music to really truly appreciate Honeymoon, and it took me a while to get there, but once I did, I very much realized how fucking masterful this album is. This album is masterful. The production is quite frankly flawless. There's no big production flaws. There's one in High by the Beach where when she's singing the lights, camera, action, one of the microphones cuts out of one of the ears. I don't remember which one it is, but that's kind of a flaw, I guess I could say. Every single time I play that song for somebody who doesn't like Lana Del Rey, they're like, I didn't know she made that kind of music. And she fucking does now. Or at least she fucking better. I heard she's doing Chemtrails Over the Country Club with Jack Antonoff. So the only song that I'm probably going to like is gonna be Yosemite, because that's produced by Rick Knowles, who produced like all of Lana's shit before. And that's not to shit on Jack Antonoff. I'm sure that there are gonna be a couple songs that I like from him. Like, I already like Let Me Love You Like a Woman. I should not form my opinions yet. And when Chemtrails comes out, I'll probably write in the comments like where I would put Chemtrails. Her vocal performance is also top fucking notch. This was like one of the peaks of her vocal performance in her career. And I really do think that you have to have a very specific taste in music to really appreciate this album as much as, you know, a lot of Lana fans do, because a lot of people think Honeymoon is her best album. And I'm starting to agree with those people. It really is a shame that 24 is not a James Bond theme song, because it really should be. But that's okay. Music to watch Boys To. I love how deep the drums are. They're not necessarily like you can hear how deep they are. It's like you can feel how deep they are. God Knows I Tried, that's a given. Her vocals are stellar on that song. It's like all of the songs have some sort of special thing about them that I love so much. And again, it took me a while to come around, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will end up coming around at some point. But that's how I feel about Honeymoon, and that's how I feel about Lana Del Rey's albums. Like I said, this is not the list to shit on all lists. This is a list based off of my personal taste in Lana's music and just my taste in general. She is my favorite artist right now. You know, like I said, I have an all-time favorite artist and a current favorite artist. My all-time favorite artist is definitely Björk. She was the first artist I ever became obsessed with, and her music is something so special. Is that even like a good sentence? Something so special. I think I'm thinking too hard. I made a video about Björk's albums as a worst to best type list. Homogenic is still my number one, and maybe at some point I'll do some other artists that I love and enjoy, like Fiona Apple and FKA Twigs. But with that said, that was my list. Let me know what yours is down below, and alright, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, children.